And as the festive season sets in, South Africans have been encouraged to visit the ample tourist attraction sites in the country as the sector contributes immensely to economic growth. The latest international tourist arrival statistics revealed that South Africa welcomed more than 5.8 million tourists in the first 8 months of 2024, marking a 7% increase compared to the same period in 2023. The data has also shown that there is a huge growth of domestic tourism who frequent other provinces. The figures are expected to increase this year, with government running numerous campaigns to bolster domestic tourism. Tourism Minister Patricia de Lille joins us now for more on this. Minister de Lille, good evening. Thank you so much for your time. Welcome to the program. I want to divide this conversation into 3 parts. We're going to be talking about domestic tourism because I think it's quite important. We'll talk about international tourism, and then we'll talk about some of the policy initiatives undertaken. In fact, I want us to start there. Earlier this year, when I spoke to you, you had just launched what was called the Trusted Tour Operator Scheme, the TTOS scheme. That was in February this year. And this was meant to fast-track things like visa applications so that tourists from key markets can find it easier to come to South Africa. Give me a review of the TTOS scheme that was implemented, and has it given the sort of numbers and dividends that you had hoped it would?
Oh, most definitely. But Oliver, we are now past that stage. With the G20, the Department of Home Affairs introduced the electronic travel authorization visa, and that was tested for all the G20 countries. And we now see countries like China, India, Indonesia, Mexico, all of those big source markets, much easier for them to travel to South Africa. So we are working closely with the Indian government, the Chinese government. We will be visiting Indonesia in the new year to grow the numbers coming from those big source markets. So definitely the visa regime is helping us. We also have to look at visa relaxation for some African countries. And to make sure that, it make it easier for them. I have just been to Mozambique with President Ramaphosa. And again, the request was to extend the visa from 30 days to 90 days. So on a policy level, we are doing very well with visas. Also in terms of air access and getting more direct flights to our country. We're currently having 8.5 million. And, the windfall, like today when Qantas decided, and the first flight landed from Perth at OR Tambo this morning, we have got about 250,000 South Africans living in Australia. So indeed, it can bring back family connections, it can bring back cultural connections, and both nations are sports mad, and I told the minister this morning that in 2027 we will be hosting the Men's Cricket World Cup in our country. So at a policy level, we are really trying to remove all the obstacles, especially now that we can cash in on the market from New Zealand also. It's gone by 50%. Australian market is gone by 30%. So the tourism sector, I must at this stage say thank you to all the workers in the tourism sector. Yeah. They are the people who is the first port of call and point that people meet them. And I want to thank them, in advance for the work that they're still going to do now during the festival.
Minister, let's talk about domestic travel. It's December. You want South Africans to travel, but it's still insanely expensive for South Africans to travel locally because the market pricing seems to be geared for international tourists who are spending in dollars, pounds and euros, not in rands. Why is it still so insanely expensive for South Africans to explore South Africa?
It's the principle of supply and demand. Domestic tourism is the bedrock of our tourism sector. It has already gone past the COVID-19 figures in 2023. South Africans, I do encourage them to also visit the less visited provinces. Go to the Free State. Go and see the new Khodomodomo Dinosaur Interpretation Center. Go to the Northwest. You can pick strawberries there. You can go to Pilanesberg, go to Gauteng, go to Limpopo, and there, of course, through South African tourism and the Short Left campaign, people can find some very affordable deals on the website. So we are trying to make it more affordable. We are always engaging the airlines. The higher the demand, if you look at flights, especially between Cape Town and Johannesburg, it's extremely expensive. South Air's got about 60% of the market, and SAA is coming back. So we have to do more, working all together to make it more affordable. The cost of living is very high for South Africans, and that's why I'm encouraging people to drive not even far from where you live to the Free State, to the north.
But Minister, it seems a little bit more than just. It seems like a little bit more than just a cost of living situation. Let's use the Western Cape as an example. If you go on holiday and spend a weekend in, say, Hout Bay, as a South African family, middle-class family, you might be able to afford it, but barely so. If you drive just 40 minutes further in that direction and you go to a place like Simonstown, because maybe you want to go see penguins, a South African family would not be able to live or stay in Simonstown for a weekend. By the way, and these places are not that far apart. It seems as though operators on one part of the provincial line are taking advantage of the supply and demand equilibrium that you're speaking about in ways that others aren't.
Exactly.
And the same family could probably, on that same budget, go to Clarence 3 times over and still have some change to spare. Are you having a tough conversation with local operators about not deliberately price gouging?
Definitely. The Portfolio Committee of Tourism at Parliament has now mandated the Department of Tourism to start looking at introducing differentiated prices where, the international tourist that pays with dollars and pounds and euros pay a little bit more than the local tourist and also maybe the tourists from the SADC region. Already Sandparks has introduced that kind of pricing system to make it more affordable. And I do know even with Table Mountain, if it's your birthday, you can go up for free there. But we have to do a lot more. And we must be working together with the Cape Town Tourism and Cape Town Mayor and the province to look to make sure that, we don't outprice the markets so that locals can't afford, especially during December. You can't get an hotel room in Cape Town for maybe less than 10,000 Rand. And it is something of concern. But I know that the Cape Town Tourism Authorities, they are working to make sure to produce those packages so that it's affordable for local people also to visit Table Mountain and the beautiful beaches around Cape Town.
Minister, why is there uneven development in tourism if you look at different provinces? Is it because some provinces just have better tourist attractions, or are the tourism boards of those provinces not duly suitable for advancing the tourism offering of that province? For instance, if you compare the Western Cape Tourism Board to that of the Free State, worlds apart. And if you compare, in fact, the dividend and the community development around it, again, worlds apart. Why is that?
Well, definitely, it all comes down to destination marketing. The provinces must invest more in marketing. That is the Western Cape strategy, that they investing a lot in marketing. We are trying from a national level with South African tourism to work with the less visited provinces. And we've included all 9 provinces in our global campaign advertising. But it's all about being more aggressive. Tell the people of South Africa, the domestic market, what you've got to offer. We will assist all provinces to market their tourist establishments outside on a global level. But it comes down, Oliver, to marketing. And the more you invest in marketing, the higher your return on investment will be. But marketing is the key.
Should we have a national policy around a specific quota on what provincial boards should be spending on marketing?
Tourism is a concurrent function. So the powers is shared between national, provincial, and local. And the role of national is to create the environment conducive for the private sector and for the provinces, to grow tourism. So we deal with legislation and regulations and all of that. But there are many, many more opportunities. And, we're riding on this wave of the positive sentiment towards South Africa after the G20. Everybody came to our country. You didn't hear about one incident where a tourist or a delegate was attacked. And so I'm calling on all the provinces, to do more to ride this wave so that we can grow tourism more in all 9 provinces.
Minister de Lille, thank you so much for your time. Really do appreciate it. Minister Patricia de Lille.
Thank you, Oliver.
It's an absolute pleasure. That's the Minister of Tourism.